too early in the morning for heavy Klon riffs, but so this is the hand-painted version that I made. The last one I ever made was 2014, maybe late 2013. And I use it like this. That's how I use the Klon. Most people use it as a boost. I don't have time for boost though. That's a bridge humbucker. Here is single coil neck and a middle, so like a Strat out of phase. By the way, this is an Opeg. This is made in Japan. I'll show you later, but it's super cool. It's the Trailbreaker Opeg. Google it while I goof around on this pedal. OPEGG Trailbreaker. All kinds of coil taps and phase switches. It's fun. I'm just playing through a Sovtek Meg 50. Alright, so let's look at, by the way, the picture-in-picture is a little out of focus, but I don't care. Let's do what most people do with a Klon and use it as a boost. So here's the bypass. Let's do humbucker bridge. This is my usual amp. Yep, someone in the chat used a Meg 50. Here's the bypass. I have some just tapering analog delay. It's a digital delay, but analog sound. And this is how a lot of people use a Klon. You turn it on for a little more better. Oh, scratchy pot. So you want to just like abuse the amp with it a little. Bypass. Smash the amp. Let's do that single coil thing. So I'm going to go up to the neck on the Opeg, pull this out, it makes it a single coil. And then I'm going to flip this switch and initiate the middle. It's like a spacecraft. So this is a Strat sound. It's really nice. Just neck. That's a humbucker. I have a crappy drum machine here, so it's a robotic Nick. Everybody in the comments say hi to robotic Nick. Bridge pickup. A little more gain. I'm going to go back to 75 gain. played guitar this early in the morning in a while. Feels pretty good. Neck. Let's just do middle. Robotic neck off. So yeah, this is the Klon replica that I made for years and years, and nothing else really that exciting to say about it. But I'm jumping into the live chat here. So many. Sam Ash, I'm assuming that's Ben. How you doing? Sounds like a Sheryl Crow song. Yeah. It's that Beatles chord from I Got a Feeling. It's that whatever that thing is, and I just continually try to ruin it. So, yeah, real quick before I jump into talking about centaurs and my replicas from over the years, I do want to show you this guitar up close. This is the Opeg. It is like a small offset body with a mastery, and you end up with all kinds of cool settings, like, you know, you have these two humbuckers, you have a middle single coil, you have coil taps on both humbuckers. This is the mid, so this middle single, this is like the on and off with the other ones. This is a three-way, so like you basically in this configuration you have a neck bridge, and then like this turns on that middle pickup. And then you have these phase switches. So it really does a ton of stuff. It's handcrafted in Japan. Trailbreaker. It's really cool. Amazing company. It's from what they call the Supreme Collection. By the way, I'm not getting paid to tell you this or anything. I just like the guitar. Yeah. Let's talk about clones. Who wants to talk about clones? Everybody wants to talk about clones. So, let's see here. What's the point of this episode? I think that's a good place to start. Clones can be very not exciting. So that's like my first disclaimer. I mean, the Klon, it seems like, you know, everybody puts out a Klon. It's a pretty normal thing. I would say that it's almost the new Tube Screamer. I would say it is the new Tube Screamer. So in the early 90s, you have Mike Fuller makes a full drive. And from that point on, you see a lot of people taking the Tube Screamer topology and modding the crap out of it, right? So if you do the years, the Tube Screamer comes to be in basically, say, 79. So, you know, you're dealing with, say, 15 years. In 15 years, it became the thing to mod and do. So that's the lifespan historically of the Tube Screamer becoming kind of a common household topology for builders. Now, the Klon came out in 94, 95. So again, 2005 kind of made it open domain if you're using that Tube Screamer thought. These are no hard and fast rules. Just thinking about timelines, thinking about the economy of cloning or whatever. Like, how does that work? So, you know, the pattern looks about right, and you have people cloning the crap out of the Klon Centaur by 2010, at least by 2010. So, it's been 8 years since I stopped making a Klon replica. Now, I made all kinds of versions. Let me show them to you. The first one I ever made, they're basically just aesthetic versions. Let me, let's see here. So they're basically all just aesthetic versions. Let me mute this. Let's see here. Is that coming through? I don't want it to be. Yeah, it sounds good. Making sure there wasn't a crazy hum. So the first one I made was in a plain enclosure. And these were enclosures that I bought for the double barrel and sweet tea. And they're just raw aluminum. So these are the most common JHS Clone replicas that you'll see. And they have a stamp on them. Now what's funny is people have cloned this entire, even the slanting of the letters, it's funny. I mean, I obviously used the inspiration of the Klon, so, it wasn't mine, but it's funny to see like people have actually cloned the look of this pedal. And then, I had a pedal called the Mr. Magic, and it had a sparkle like silver. I mean, honestly, it's a Keeley compressor silver. And then I went to that. See, so I made that kind of look. Because it was already being powdered for my Mr. Magic. And then I used the sweet tea color from that era. So there's a sweet tea looking one. And then the one that's crazy expensive and most rare, I mean, if you want to call it rare, that can be annoying, but it's this hand-painted style. There were these two girls, Anne and Christine, and they would hand-paint a lot of pedals. Yeah, these are hand-painted, really beautiful, fun. And yeah, so that was what I made originally. And I started that in 2009, and I made them till 2014. So I stopped. And so the reason for this episode really is I've never explained it like in talking. I've put some posts on the gear page and stuff and reply to emails. But I was going to tell you the basic story and ask you the question, which you already know, is should I make some other version of it? So let's walk through it. You can help me out. Really, this is me just crowdsourcing a thought, like really and honestly curious. I don't need to make a Klon replica. There is part of me that would like to do something fun with the idea and see what you think about it. But, it's not life or death for me. I quit making them. But I want to talk to you about this ethical, weird thing that I struggle with concerning the Klon. But let me tell you the story first. So I think I was the first company. Now, it's hard for me to even call myself a company from 2009. I was, and I had an employee, but man, it was small fries and hard times. You can quote that. And I think I was the first person to build a clone and sell it from a web, like, hey, I'm a pedal company, here's a clone. Now, I don't care if I was or not, but that's how the reason I'm telling you is that's how long ago this was in the timeline of current clondom. Clondom? That's where we're at in that timeline. So I'm just saying it's way back there, and I'm not sure or even positive anyone made anything before me for public use, like to buy. I think I was also the originator of this mechanical layout, which is like a tiny clone. So if you look at a real clone, all I did was I shrunk it down. I used there's a silver one, and that's what I had used to make this. But yeah, I just thought, oh, it's similar, that whole thing. So I also, again, I'm not, it doesn't matter if I was first. That's not the point. I just want to, I'm reaching back, talking through the story with you. Like, it was a long time ago for me. And for the pedal market, that's a long time. Like, I'm no longer the new kid on the block. I'm like the old guy now. There's so many great, amazing young builders. So I get an email from Bill Finnegan, and I lived in Mississippi. My shop was in a little town called Ecru, Mississippi, in a shed. If you watch the story of JHS, history of JHS documentary we did, you can kind of see there's this shed in a place called Ecru. I was in that place and had started building these. And Bill Finnegan, the creator of the Klon, he wanted to talk to me. So I jump on the phone, And to be honest, that's intimidating. Like, I loved the Klon and I had one and I respected him. It wasn't as magical as it is now. It was a really cool pedal, but it was way more approachable. And, you know, they didn't cost an arm and a leg. You could still buy a Klon for like $600 or something, 500. Actually, I bought a Klon in that era for like 325. I remember it. And most of them that I have, I paid like 250 for. So he asked to talk to me. We get on the phone. I remember clearly taking a time out, like a lunch break, jumped on the phone, went and sat in this bedroom in this my father-in-law's house there that the shed was in the backyard of. And I talked to him, and he just didn't like that I made a clone. And I was like, hey, man, you know, no disrespect. It's a circuit. And here's the deal. We got into this talk. And I said, you're not making one. You don't make one. Like, at this time, if you go to klonsiberia.net or .com, his current website still has a message from like 2010 or something. Like, it's never been updated. It's really hard to track what he's doing, when he's doing it, and how he's doing it. So I said to him, hey, when you start making another one, because you're not right now, I'll stop making mine. And I continued to make it for 5 years. It took him 4 or 5 years to get his KTR out, which he ended up releasing. This is the KTR. The KTR was like his manufacturable version of the Klon. And so he puts that out. So I said, I'll stop when I see something new. And then I saw that new. And in 2014, when that came out, I ordered one for $269 from the Guitar Sanctuary in McKinney, Texas. Amazing dealer. Andy Timmons, home guitar shop. Amazing people. Brian there is amazing. I got it like 2 or 3 days later in the mail. I remember being in the JHS shop. I was sitting at my desk. I think I'd gone through some repairs, went and sat down, was doing emails. The package comes in. I vividly remember opening up, and this KTR was in a box. And at that point, I just I went to the website, I pulled down our Klon replica, I canceled orders, and I just moved on. I kept my promise. So I've kept that promise for 9 years, pretty much 9 years coming up. I don't remember the month, but let's just say 8 years. So my question to you, and this is me truly crowdsourcing my predicament. My predicament is, to you, does that agreement matter anymore? 8 years later, and a totally different landscape. So this is what I want to see in the comments, and here's what I'm going to throw out. I'm not fishing one way or the other. Let me make super clear. I could make one. It's not illegal. Everybody and their mother makes one. But I made a personal agreement to Bill, and here's the problem. He doesn't return calls. I can't get a hold of him. I love the Klon. It's personally always been one of my favorite pedals. I stack it with a Morning Glory. I've had ideas for like a 2-in-1. I've had all kinds of cool thoughts. But I said this to him, and I try to keep my word. And you have to go back. No one was making one. Like, no one was making a clone. Now it's the normal. It's the new Tube Screamer, as I kind of talked about. And since then, let me read the names of companies who now make a clone. None of this existed. So, again, I'm begging you, go back into the past, put yourself in my brain. I give this commitment, this word, and now the landscape looks like this. When I gave the word, there was nothing. No one made a Klon replica or clone. And now we have Wampler, Way Huge. Boss has a Centaur setting in the drive that they put out, the multi-drive. Way Huge, MXR, Electro-Harmonics, Warm Audio, Walrus, Paul Reed Smith, Raya, Mythos, Rocket made the Archer, Joyo, Mosky, K-Line, Acorn, Anasound, Pedal Monster, Seriatone, Nux, Mojo Hand, Pro Analog, Arc, Monsterpiece, Rimrock. I mean, on and on and on. There's some version of the Klon. I mean, even like Petty John. There's someone doing a take on that topology because it's such a fantastic circuit the way that I love it as a player. And I've always loved making. This is one of my problems. I love making pedals for myself. And I think that's why a lot of you like my pedals. I just make stuff that I want to hear, and a lot of you relate to me or whatever, and that's great. Some of you don't like me. That's also great. But I'm just saying, I do my best work when I make stuff for myself. So the Klon thing has been like this forbidden territory for now 8-9 years. And it's just crazy to see this. I saw one of these sell in Marketplace for $2,500. These silver or brass looking ones, they consistently sell for $700 to $1,000. The real ones, like a gold long tail, will sell for like $8,000, like actual selling prices. And we're seeing KTRs now being cloned, which is funny, and they'll sell for $1,000 or so. It's just bonkers. And I think that there's this struggle with it where I hate the prices on. I hate seeing this be so much. I absolutely think it's stupid. Other than collecting, because I get collecting, I have the sickness. But man, if you just wanted a JHS version of the Klon, I kind of want to make one. And I'm going, don't buy this. Like, this is, I mean, you can buy it for collectability, but don't put this on your board. I don't know. That all bothers me. So let me keep going down my soapbox here. And then I'll look through the comments. And Joshua's in there too if you want to ask some questions. So old units are selling for that. I mean, there's people cloning my clone, which is also funny. And I think that's just all ridiculous. And I think it's honestly kind of dumb. And so I struggle, the last few years it'd be fun to make something else, do a new take on it, something fresh. And then I also want to say this to everyone. There's certain people who have a thought, the last thing we need is another Klon clone. Okay, pause. Let me be frank with you. The last thing we need on Earth is another pedal, period. Like, we don't need any more pedals. My livelihood is based on new pedals, but I can tell you right to your face, we have all the pedals we ever need. But that's not the point. So that argument of the last thing we need is another Klon clone, that doesn't matter. Like, that comment is kind of void and ridiculous in my opinion. We make pedals or things because they give us joy. So if you're a creative and you have creativity and you're a maker, the last thing we need is another painting. The last thing we need is another album. The last thing we need is another blues song. I mean, I could keep going. The last thing we need is another cheeseburger. Like, I get what you're saying, but like, step out of it and don't be so linear. Like, think about life and creativity. I like the Klon, so I'd love to make a fun version that I like again. And so, no, we don't need one. We also didn't need a bonsai. We didn't need a pack rat. We didn't need a color bar. We don't need anything. Like, you don't need anything. If you have a guitar and if you have a Telecaster and a Fender Bassman and like a fuzz pedal, you could probably play the rest of your life and be fine. So anyway, moving on from that, the biggest predicament I find myself in is I love what I do as an employer. I love my employees. And during the pandemic, we grew quite a bit, around 43 employees at a certain point. I love that. And I love opportunities to make things that will sell really well because people want them, because I get to feed that back into my employees, my workplace. I love that. Like, I'm not going and buying a yacht. You know what I mean? I love employing people, and I love helping people that work for me. I love seeing guitar pedals fund kids' schools, and I love seeing my company. They are my family. They're one of my families. I have two families. I have my real family and my JHS family. And so when I think about a Klon replica, I see two things. One, it'd be fun to do something and make a version of it because I like creating things, period. Number two is it'd be really healthy. It'd be something cool to bring in some money because I'm going to just shoot straight. Every company, I don't need that. I'm not like, we're not hurting. We're doing very well. But it's extra. It's like, why not jump into that market share where people are wanting to buy Klons and bring some of that into my workplace? As a business person, that's a strictly business comment. That's a smart thing to say. So, all of that said, I posted on the gear page about this. And I'm going to read some of it to you. So I made a thread, and the thread is called, if you go to the gear page and search, is the Klon being made, ? KTR or Big Boy, ? That's me. And so I just posted in here, and it's up to 6 pages. I posted this November 21st, before I even thought about doing this live. And I just said, hey, I can't find a straight answer. Is it being made? Because my agreement is, hey, until you make it again, whatever. And I can't tell if he's making them. I can't tell if he's quit making. I just can't figure out what he's doing, and none of you can either. Because when you look through this thread, when you dive through this thread, it's just full of people having no idea where to get a KTR. And then it's full of people just saying, buy something else. You know, a lot of people hating on his business practices and stuff, which I think is beside the point. Like, he can do what he wants. Bill can run his business any way he wants, and that's fine. That's his choice. But there's a lot of comments in here that are just people frustrated, and fairly enough, there's enough clones. I don't need to make one for these people. But I'm not an idiot in recognizing, hey, there's a fan base that loves JHS as a company, loves our work. Why not throw something out there? So go prowl through that thread if you care. I'm not going to bother myself with reading 6 pages of it, but it's interesting. Apparently, he made some KTRs. They ended up at Tim Guitars in Australia earlier in the year. I don't know. There's people showing, this is really fun. There's people showing their custom shop stuff. There's people loving on the old Klon replica, which is fun to see. There's a comment, I need another clone like a hole in the head. I agree. None of us need it. We don't need anything, though. It's a really good thread. And so there's one more thing. There's an email we got. This email is from Matt. You know who you are. And he said, hey, Josh, or Joshua. He wrote this to Joshua Bocanegra and to the JHS vlog page. Saw JHS, maybe Josh, posted on the gear page asking about Klon and KTR production. A close friend of Bill's recently told me that the company he contracted to produce the KTRs closed down and mailed Bill back all the parts and components and enclosures recently. This was without warning, and why they never seemed to hit the market after his big KTR announcement. So he made this big announcement about a new KTR V2. Where is it? Like, I don't know. This is all very mysterious. This has been almost a year. As far as my friend said, there's no timetable to find a new producer of the pedal. Seems Bill isn't interested in making them himself after all. Hopefully you can pass this on to Josh. So this is no big shocker. I mean, it's a big no-brainer. Like, Bill doesn't want to make them. I understand that. But it's like, find someone to make them? I don't know. I mean, I've offered. I know other people have. He won't return certain people's messages. I guess he doesn't like me, and that's okay. Oh yeah, Old Blood Noise. That's one of my favorites. That fault pedal. Anyway, what I'm getting at is there's an opportunity on the table for people who want to see a JHS thing. I've kept my word for 8 years. At what point is that over? So that's a question for you, because I don't think I can answer that. I struggle with it. There's a couple people, a couple of my teams like, make one, and some people like, I don't know. I definitely would love to know your opinion on the new climate we're in, because roughly, if you did some math, let me throw out some numbers and be transparent with you. At a current rate of, this is business and business numbers. So I'm going to share this with you. People never do this. I could care less, because a business needs to make money to be successful. And there are all kinds of things that JHS needs to grow. And I don't care talking about money. People get all antsy-nancy about money. But let's say I sold 4,000 of these a year, which is on par with some other things. I think that's a a decent estimate of what I could have been selling for 8 years. I think we would have sold several thousand a year over the 8 years. And because I was early in the market, held the position, could have just kept making them, but I kept my word. And I think that comes out, if you're at 10 years, let's say you go 10 years, just to round it off, I think it's $4 to $5 million. I have probably put that money on the table. Now, understand that doesn't include taxes, payroll, utilities, all that stuff. And I know there's some of you who you want to jump on this like sixth grader level and start going like, oh my God, he's a millionaire. No, that's not how business works. There's all kinds of expenses, but I think there's around 5 million in sales that I laid on the table for 8 years. Now, I don't do the core of why I do what I do is not about money. Like, I'm not going to do something to make money if I don't love it and if it feels wrong. I won't ever do that. So that's not the point. But it is this opportunity for me as a business owner in an economy that's questionable. Why not throw something like that back on the table and pass it along to employees and the security of their jobs? A new building would be nice. I could go on and on. So there's all kinds of interesting things in my head that I'm letting you into as a business owner. This predicament of, I won't make a Klon when you start making them again. I pulled mine off the market 2014. Here we are 8 years later. The Klon is this big mystery. Where do you get them? How do you make them? We have endless amounts of clones by everyone from Boss to Wampler to Electroharmonics. Should I just make another one? Yes or no in the comments. And tell me why. I'm actually going to read these comments in detail, not on the live. But I'm looking for sincere, honest opinions on the ethical question of, should I make another one? Should I just jump in and do something cool with it, put my spin on it? Does it matter anymore? Will you be offended as a customer? Because I think at the end of the day, my biggest hang up is I want to keep my word. I want to be a person of integrity. And if I were to see people say, Josh is a liar, he promised, blah, 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 that would suck for me. That would make, no amount of money makes that worth it for me. So I will always close the door to money on that subject. But if you as a customer base, a fan base, people that know me now, care about what we do as a company, if you're watching a Monday Morning Monologue, you're this type of person. If you throw out some good comments there, help me out. Just get into my brain space and help me out. So I have the itch to do something new. I have for a while with it. I've even prototyped 3 or 4 different things. And yeah, vote in the comments, I guess. That's all I'm asking. Let's play another one. Let's play the old silver boy here. Let me put him up. So let's play him. Get it hooked up, and then I'll jump into the comments for just a second. But yeah, I really appreciate your ability to, just be honest and sincere and kind of walk through that in the way that I'm asking. And give me your advice. What would you do? So let's see here. Klon's Eye. Okay, we're up to way too many comments to filter through. I mean, there's already like such a mix. Like, why do we need another one? I mean, I answered this. Like, you don't need any new pedal. I'm not gonna get into that more. That's a bit of a soapbox. Subway ain't free. That's a funny comment. I gotta have my turkey sandwiches, y'all. That's how you know that I own a yacht, because I eat Subway. I'm being sarcastic. People's thinking I'm like a millionaire because I own a pedal company. They've obviously never owned a pedal company. The Cappy says, you'll definitely hear negativity, but you held your end of it. None are being made. See, that's the dilemma, because at any moment, because it's Bill, he could just start making it again, and I'm not going to cancel mine. If I go through the effort, tens of thousands of dollars to launch a product, I'm not going to quit making it. And so once I jump in, I'm in. And it's like, I don't know. Dirk Schneider says, why not creating a bonsai Klon bluesbreaker triplet? So that, I'm not too interested in that, because the clones don't sound different. I don't care what you've been told, like gold, silver, KT, they all sound the same. There's not any variation there. Ray Hunt, I say yes with more options. David Forsey says too many comments. It's a lot of comments. Yeah, I think this is generally going to be really helpful. I'm just scrolling, and I'm really appreciative of everyone. Let's see here. Yeah, I'll read them later. Let me demo. Let's demo again. The old silver one here. Let's see. So this is out of focus, but it's a cool pedal. I dig it. I like this bronze color too. It's nice. But you like this Velcro? Let's see here. Yeah, these are fun. So let's demo this one. They're going to sound the same, but let's have a good time. Thanks for coming and hanging out on a Monday like this. It's very kind of you. I'm glad you enjoy this stuff. Gonna tune with you on here. Woo! You like that? All right. Let's see what we got here. Let's do everything halfway. Do some more verb. How about this drummer? Let's see what drummer's got for us. That is almost the lamest drum sound. What's this? Is that a groove? Wait. Has this gate on the hats that drives me insane. All right, yeah. I see some top chats. Thank you for those. Joshua, if you can answer them, because I'm jamming here. I really love this guitar. Drum roll was nice. By the way, this drum machine is like a little pedal. It's by Flamma, F-L-A-M-M-A. I did an episode on them. It's called the FS01. Flamma, F-L-A-M-M-A, FS01. It doesn't suck. I mean, it's super cheapo, but it's cool. Especially once you start playing. So while you're listening to the sick jam, just in the comments, convince me not to make a Klon replica, and I will truthfully and sincerely read your comments, because I'm interested. Thought I was out of tune. I don't have a slide. Can I play slide with a Klon? Let's try. KTR. Sharks, I'm looking for $100 million for a 0.06% stake in my company, Klon Slide. Alright, max gain. Turn that tone knob down, make it sound like a rat. Alright, that's all for now. Thanks so much for watching. You're awesome. See you maybe Wednesday. I will see you Wednesday. I have a treat for you. But that's all. Have a great day. Great Monday. Start the week off right. That's all. I'm out. Bye.